Alright, well when we do these burns, we always start with the sprinkler, the side that's protected with fire sprinklers, and because the other side's really dramatic, so when we get this side done, if we do the other side first, people go like, alright, that was a big fire, I'm leaving. So we make you see the good side first, right? This is where, again, I say we do this a 3,200 square foot house without sprinklers, fill the whole house up. Zero tenability, an unsurvivable condition. We did this with sprinklers in that same 3,200 square foot house. You were not even incapacitated after 13 minutes. So, but the one thing we know is that this furniture, and you'll get to see it here, this furniture performs much different than anything we've ever seen. So to spend 26 years of a career fighting fire, the conditions have changed. You put the new furniture and take the energy code, put it all together, it's a recipe for disaster. So we'll go ahead and get started. Caleb's go ahead and light the sprinkler side. So these trailers are designed to, naturally they got drywall. The one side with sprinklers, we put plywood in it so we don't have to rebuild it with drywall every time it gets wet, but it's got a single quick response sprinkler head in there. Flow about 13 gallons a minute. We've just got it supplied with what the street pressure would be. So he's got the fire lit, and there's the smoke alarm. That's what we promote, early warning. Early warning, you can see you got a fairly significant fire going in the room. You get it lapping over the ceiling, and there you have activation. So you see it takes a significant fire, but now we have the wall wetting capability of that sprinkler to keep everything else from burning. It's designed to contain the fire. So that's where we say you've got early warning, that's the smoke alarm. The people that can get out, stay out, close the door. Then you have early suppression. That's the sprinkler. So early warning, early suppression, and then our firefighters. It takes all of those. That's what we call the emergency response. Early warning, early suppression, emergency response. That'll keep us all alive. And you're right here in Prince George County. You led this country with one of the first comprehensive ordinances for that. I, as a fire chief later on, wrote my executive paper off of your success here. And then we did that in our community in 1998. So that water will naturally flow until the fire department gets there. I always like to say, people's like, well, what about the water damage? I'm like, everything will dry out, but nothing will unburn. And you'll see that when we light this other side. So water is good. We're working with Water Restoration Company in order to help us, but this furniture, we'll take this furniture out, dry it out, clean it up, and it's in that side. So that furniture over there has already been burned one time. So that you'll notice they're set up to, we burn on this side and this one, and the other side we push the furniture to the other side. So this furniture over here has already been on fire one time. Again, early warning, early suppression, emergency response. That's the key to the modern fire environment. So the firefighters go in and make sure that the fire's out, and they shut the sprinkler off. And that was just a fire in a waste paper basket with newspaper. Some of these fires, I just seen a fire death reported on social media today that was discarded cigarettes in a trash can. So we put the plexiglass on there to keep the smoke in there, and as well as to protect the trailer. So you'll see on this other side, it protects the top hinge on my trailer. The Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition recommended that you use a full sheet of plexiglass. That worked well when we was using old furniture. But you use this new furniture, I can generate enough smoke in that thing to nearly knock the fire down because of how dense and thick the smoke is. So now the newspaper's on the floor. You're like, what do you got a newspaper on the floor? That's my flashover indicator. So flashover, which is what you didn't see here, that's what you'll see over here. That's when everything in the room that can burn catches fire. So you'll know that floor is at approximately 500 degrees when that newspaper light's off. So we can have fancy thermocouples and all that other stuff, but I'll just use the newspaper instead. Sometimes the only thing that affects that is if we get a wind going in the front. So, and the firefighters, you'll see them, this is, most of the time they don't get to see a sprinkler activate because the smoke's bad enough they can't see it, and then a fire, they're going to do a direct attack. They'll get to hit that furniture directly. They typically don't get to do that. And you can see the tags are still on this furniture, so it's brand new. It's all synthetic, so it's very light, but you'll notice that the smoke content is what it is, so we're good to go. So we certainly appreciate the firefighters here today to take care of us. We couldn't do this without them. So we should see the same fire growth as we've seen in the sprinkler side. You can see the damage on the sprinkler side from where the fire burned up the curtains. And again, he's just using a lighter to newspaper and there's the early warning. So you got the smoke alarm. Those people that can get out, but the issue we have with smoke alarms is what are kids under 14? Kids under 14, do they hear a smoke alarm? No, they cannot hear a smoke alarm. And so now you should see that the fire will grow, but you'll also see it die down. And people think that, well, I could get that put out, but watch the smoke production. Right now that curtain's burning. And so not a significant amount of dense smoke, because that's more, it's not a polyester curtain, so it's more. But when that couch starts going, when the couch starts igniting, which now you think, well, the significance of the fire has gone down. So again, the early warning, get out, stay out, and close the door. If you can close the door to this room, that's a good thing. But you can see it's got enough heat in there. It already dropped out our poster off of the TV. So we got those plastic TVs in there like you would have a flat screen TV in modern times, but as it falls down on that couch, that's what we call drop down. But as that couch starts to go, I can see underneath the couch now that there's some fire on the floor under the couch. Now that couch, as it burns, will start to run down. It'll start to pull those plastics on the floor. And so it takes them, and you can see that, you can see the plexiglass start to melt. So we've probably generated 500 degrees in there at the ceiling, and you see the couch start to melt down. So as you see that plexiglass warp, you know that says, well, the fire doesn't look very bad. But all the smoke that's coming out of there and all that heat, just think of where it would be going if it didn't have a big 8-foot hole in the front of it. So that heat would already have significantly filled up a considerable portion of the house. And this is where you notice how much denser that smoke is now. It's going to get to what we call flashover, because that smoke is going to radiate that heat down on the rest of that couch. So people used to say, and Burger King even had a commercial that says fire grows and doubles in size. That's not true. Fire grows exponentially, and you're about to see that. So watch our teddy bear, watch this other chair start to go. Now we've got a pretty decent wind that's just come up, but we're about to go to flashover. So you'll see this other couch start to peel away. You'll watch the top part of that just come apart as this smoke starts to ignite, because that smoke, we're at 3 minutes. Thank you, Abby, we're at 3 minutes. So watch this other couch. So there goes the other couch that wasn't even exposed to fire. Now watch my newspaper. Watch my newspaper light off. That's what we know as flashover. So everything that can, go ahead and hit it, guys. And you'll be able to notice when you go see this. Once we get it put out, we'll let you get up there where you can see it. and you can, I mean, that is some nasty smoke. The other piece we know is that the firefighters exposed to that after the fact, that's why firefighters have a cancer rate of 4 times the population, because they wear their air packs now, but then they take that off when they go in to clean that up during overhaul. So that's a policy we got to look at and change. Notice our plexiglass is drooped down nicely, but we'll let the guys go ahead and clean that up. When they get that cleaned up and put out, we'll let you, so you can go up there and take a look at how that furniture just comes apart and delaminates. Yeah, that'd be perfect. We're honored here to have the mayor. As I told you earlier, I was lucky one time, mayor, to serve as a mayor, but they elected me back to the general population. So you keep up the good work there. But we use Prince George County and Laurel as an icon for us in Tennessee. So thank you for what you do here, and I'll let you talk to the crowd. Thank you, ma'am.
I'll be real brief, but thank you all very much. I want to just welcome you to Laurel and thank you for the work that you all do day in and day out. All those fire marshals and inspectors and members of the fire and rescue. So thank you all for what you're doing, and we're very happy to help support these efforts. Laurel's had residential sprinklers for roughly almost 30 years. When you build in Laurel, you need to be ready to put sprinklers in. So we believe in them, and in fact we had 2 fires, I think, the last couple of weeks or so that really helped eliminate the fire by the sprinkler system. So thank you all, and thank you for what you're doing.